just gonna say this. Full disclaimer. This video is not for the weak. This is not for the hate. And this is not for the drama, because go argue with your mama. Okay? Go argue with her, because I ain't got time for it. In this video, I want to address the controversial, which is so stupid that it's even controversial, but we're gonna have a conversation about Black romances. We'll get into the other genres, but I want to start with Black romance. Let's get this video going. So this video is going to be about the tweet that's been going on addressing the lack of attention support for Black romances, and I made a post about it, so let's talk about it. So my opinion on Black romances. I think that it is a terrible mistake to believe that interracial couples is the basis for Black romance. I think Black romance is its own entity, it is its own experience, and it is and should be highlighted more. Now, I said that being a person who is a Black woman who is with a white man. And the amount of comments that I got was hilarious in my opinion, but you felt the need to comment, so I'm gonna address it. So here's a few things that comes to mind when I think about this concept. One, it's frustrating to believe that your experience as a Black person is somehow erased when you are dating or with a person of a different race. So with that, I think that is an ignorant ass concept. And it's something that's kind of a double-edged sword because you have people in the Black community that like to say things that doesn't necessarily apply, and it's pure ignorance. But you also have that whenever you try to hold other people accountable for their lack of interest or lack of support in the Black spaces. Double-edged sword when you look at it. Of course, that becomes a part of the conversation because people use it to discredit my opinion on it. It's like, well, if you love Black love so much, why are you dating a white guy? That's like saying, fuck you in every way possible, and in my opinion, fuck you too. It's that simple. Because here's the thing, being a Black person does not get easier with dating someone of a different race. If anything, you tend to become this spokesperson for Black people, and especially if you're not quote unquote what mass media kind of pushes on people, understanding of what a Black person is. I mean, they believe that if you've never met a Black person, you only have the media telling you what Black people are and what the Black experience is. So they either give you performance, you're a talented basketball player or you're a talented singer or writer, and then you have the other side where it's the news. It's, oh, you're murderers and killers and you're violent. So in those spaces where your Blackness has to represent more than just who you are, if you ask me, it's really important that you double down at who you are. So let's be very clear. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I am who I am, where I am, how I am in every space. Don't get me wrong, there is a difference of code switching and professionalism, but the conversation needs to be held within the Black community and outside of the Black community. So that's step one. Now, step two, using that as a discredit reason for why you guys can't relate is frustrating. So I bring up the popular series, The Brown Sisters. Everyone's like, well, I read the Brown Sisters, I support Black romance. Let me clarify again, honey. That is not the definition of Black romance. It is the definition of interracial romance. And the reason for that is because none of the Brown sisters ended up with a Black guy. None of them. I mean, if you look at media, for example, you have How to Get Away with Murder, you have shows like Scandal, where you have these brilliant, educated, leading roles of Black women, but they don't end up with Black guys. Something's wrong with that. We need to stop trying to make it seem like interracial relationships is now the quota for Black romance, and it's not. Black romance deserves love, attention, support, just as much as interracial, if not more. And the reason why I say that and I stand firmly in this is that because of my first comment, we don't see a lot of Black love outside of our own community. You don't see the world seeing that version of us, and it's a problem. It's fucking problematic as fuck. Excuse my language. You're gonna hear a lot of swearing in this video. I should have put that as a disclaimer in the beginning. Anywho, my point being is, you don't see a lot of that, and we need to change that narrative so we can be understood in another way. Because I personally have been ignorant to it. I am not ashamed of it. I just remember, for example, there was a moment where I was being told or judged by my book stacks. Like, people were like, well, you need more Black people in there. And the books that they were recommending had everything to do with exploitation of women and drug lords and things like that, which again is a genre within its own. But I for one was like, can I get books that don't have these things? I'm just tired of reading Black trauma and Black pain. And people got me right together like, sis, you're not looking hard enough. Here are these other options. And I thought that was brilliant. And that's what I mean by having a safe space and being okay with being held accountable. I made an ignorant comment and people were like, no, you're wrong. And here's why. I love that about this community. But then there was something that rubbed me the wrong way. I really hate when people say things like, oh, Black romances. I mean, I read the Danny Brown, I read the Chloe Brown, I read those, like I could relate. No, honey, it's not that you can't relate, it's that unconsciousness of wanting to step out of what you already know. Let's just be honest. Most people trend to the Brown Sister series. And again, I'm no hate for the author of this. That's not my intention to throw shade or hate on her. Do your thing, sis. My point is, that series is very palatable because it has palm color people. Like, let's just be honest. It's easier for them to relate to them because they're attracted to men that are not Black. And come on. Like, let's just say it for what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, in a interracial relationship, I understand the attraction. However, I think it's ridiculous to believe that Black people don't love each other, that Black people don't support one another. And it is very important to show that in the reading community, because you guys will read the same 20 books. You guys will highlight the same 20 books. You guys will talk about these books on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. And it's like, I'm starting to feel like this community is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's like, do we have an individual thought anywhere here? Do we have a new author that's not top 20 already? Can we dig into spaces that were necessarily not the easiest accessible? So again, I wanted to address this because it's really important for you guys to understand. When you love a community like that, I love this community, you got to hold them accountable. And the more that we all have these conversations, the more openness, the more understanding that everyone has. I personally experience a lot of how you should be versus what I am, a lot of my upbringing. Family members, friends have made comments about how I talk, how I carry myself. It has always been a conversation and always related to, oh, how this is going to reflect in the person that I fall for. So it was never, oh, you're going to meet an educated person or someone who understands you. It's like, you have a lot of feelings. You're very opinionated. You're going to end up with a white guy. Like, that's how ignorant. It's fucking ignorant, but that's what people say all the time. So I want to address this because the layers of issues that's in this video would be an hour to 3 days long, okay? So I say all this to get you guys to understand that Black romance is necessary, it's needed, it's important, and it needs to be in every genre. I want to see Black witches, I want to see Black wizards, I want to see, like, this is not a Stephen King movie. This is not that kind of story where, oh, well, Black people wasn't really, Black people have always been here. Black people has always been a part of changing and experience everything that you guys think of. but they don't get their own stories told. I was on TikTok and someone was talking about Even Stevens. I don't know how old y'all are, but that was a popular show growing up. And they were talking about a character that I obsessed over, and it was Larry. Larry was a smart black guy, and he was competition of Ren on every single level. And they missed the opportunity to tell us more about his story. Love Ren, love Even Stevens, love all of them, but they missed a lot of opportunity by not giving that story of a character that you normally wouldn't see. I am an advocate for understanding culture. I am an advocate of understanding people, but the biggest piece is respect. Show respect to everyone. It has nothing to do whether you like it or dislike it. Respect goes a long, long way. So I'm gonna get off my high horse. I hate doing videos like this because I'm just waiting for the comments, because when I say I posted this on my Instagram, everybody has something to say about it. Both good, but also we have the people who are very ignorant, and that's fine. And another thing, before I end this video, I want to address educating people on it. It is a choice for Black people to educate you. They don't owe you shit. They don't owe you shit. And when I say that, I want you to think of this. It is so messed up that Black people had to do whatever it took to be educated and still not get the education that they deserve. So with that being said, Black people were murdered, killed for just learning how to read, learning the alphabet, tormented, all kinds of things just to be educated. And then people come along and expect Black people to educate them. Problematic. So I leave it at that. To educate you, if you got a friend who wants to, if you got a partner that's like, yo, here's some recommendations, awesome. That is their choice. But don't expect people to teach you shit. Go and do your homework. Go Google, as I would say. With that being said, if you guys want to educate people on Black romances and Black authors that they should be reading, comment down below your favorite, comment down your links, your list, whatever. But let's be clear. Black romance deserves the attention that we are so much screaming about. Because if I hear one more person say, oh, I can't relate, bitch, you fucking read books about smuts, demons fucking cutting off each other's feet and sucking toes, so y'all can shut that shit down right now. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm very vulgar, I know, but whatever. It's your girl, Books with Bonnie. Make sure you guys comment down below those books, or just give me a heart emoji, because again, it is your choice. Your choice to put it down there. It's your girl, Books with Bonnie. I'm out.